Utah Valley up next on our WAC Women's Basketball Preview Show. I'm Kendra Sheehan alongside Dallas Wings coach Brandy Poole. We'll have head coach Dan Nielsen join us in just a second. 10-19 overall, 5-15 in the WAC. But this year they got a lot of those pieces back. How can they build upon that from last year?
They do, and I look forward to watching Utah Valley because I think there's going to be a big jump in growth here with some of their newcomers and their returners. So I don't expect to see them. I expect to see them in Vegas at the end of the season.
100%. We'll go ahead and bring in head coach Dan Nielsen in his 6th season. And coach, we just mentioned it, you returned quite a few players on your roster from last year. How does that experience help give you a leg up on where you were maybe at this time last year?
I feel like you guys have been in my coaches meetings. That's what we just keep talking about. You know, one of the real benefits and maybe kind of old school way to build a team is to get a lot of experience. And that was our number one thing in recruiting, was actually to keep our own players that we really felt like had more room to grow and had experience in the program, and then really could add supplemental pieces from the portal and JUCO transfers. And so, yeah, that experience is going to be a huge factor for us, and definitely has made putting things in and getting prepared for the season much easier for me, having some other coaches on the floor.
Coach, what do you think the two biggest areas that you address in the offseason with your workouts and with your recruiting do you think you addressed for this team going into this season?
Yeah, the first thing is just playing with more confidence offensively. You know, we've traditionally been one of the better defensive teams in the league, and especially when we're healthy. And so just spent a lot of time, more time than I ever have in the offseason, on offensive skill work, shooting the ball, just growing each player's game. And so we spent a lot of time with that, and it's been fun to see some of the successes we've had with that there. And then the second thing I think really in recruiting was just to get back to having more size. You know, we've traditionally always played a little bit bigger than maybe other teams. And last year we just didn't have the size that we were accustomed to, and kind of had to change how we played. And so really excited with the additions we've made, added a lot of length and some size from both freshman recruits, the portal, JUCO transfers. And so definitely feel like we can be a little bit more how we've been in the past and have more success with that.
Last year, you guys were in so many close games. How do you emphasize to the players playing that full 40 minutes and closing them out when it matters most?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised my hair color still is the way it is. I figured I'd be a little gray and white by now after that. You know, it's one of those things where you're glass half empty, you're glass half full, and we chose to really focus on, hey, we're right there. It's just getting over the hump. And so part of that's us doing a better job coaching and being better prepared at those in-game scenarios. And also it's back to the very first point we made. It's a lot of that experience where now we have players that have been there, have really competed, and I think are going to be better prepared to win in those situations this year. So I'm really excited to see what we do, you know, in the preseason, building some confidence and getting ourselves ready for you know, a wild WAC conference season.
Coach, we're about to talk to Talia White here in a few minutes, but talk a little bit about what she brings to the table, her leadership, her skill set, and what you look for her this season.
Yeah, I mean, Talia is going to be a huge part of what we do this year, and I think we really didn't get a chance to see what Talia is capable of until the last, you know, maybe half of last year. She had injuries the few years before where she was in and out quite a bit, and I was really glad she chose to stay another season. Talia is a dynamic offensive player, and just her experience. I mean, I recruited her when she was 15 to her first school, and I've known her for 10 plus years. She's one of the older players probably in college basketball. But she's going to be a huge part of what we do, both a leadership role, but also scoring the basketball for us, helping us in our defensive rotations. We're lucky to have her back this year.
Coach, thank you so much. Best of luck this season. It's time for the player breakdown.
And we're going to continue with that theme with Talia White, and she's such a good catch and shoot shooter. Again, another team that's going to have good spacing here. She's going to come off the ball screen and kick. You see, if you rewind just a little bit, take that back, you see her teammate. You're going to see Talia down here in the corner, but you see her teammate get a little bit of penetration and able to kick to her for that wide open three. And that's going to be so important to her. As the film rolls into this next clip, you're going to see, again, great little play here by Coach Nielsen. They get it inbounds. Okay, you're going to see her spaced here up at the top. Pause, and then pause a little bit. You're going to see her teammate come and set a little hammer screen as her teammate drives baseline. She's going to drift, and then they're going to find her in this corner. Great set there to get a shooter on the move. Go ahead and roll the film. You'll see her catch and shoot. She's got such a quick release. It makes it hard for the defense to get out there. But I think they do a good job of putting her in position to be successful. Great catch and shooter kid. Spaces the floor for this team.
Third year with the program, certainly going to be an impact player for the Wolverines. Take a look at the non-con slate for Utah Valley. They'll open at home against Kansas City in the UCCU Center. And then they got a couple in-state rivalries. They got BYU at Weber State. What stands out to you with this schedule?
I think this is a really solid schedule to gain some confidence early. And as he talked about that, he worked on just offensive confidence with this team and scoring the ball overall. I think this schedule sets them up to get some early wins and then prepare them for the WAC, but give them some confidence, because it's all about confidence with these young women and how they feel as they step on the court.
And with so many faces and also returning players, important to get those wins early on. Build that confidence. We'll go ahead and bring in Talia White and Donja Stafford-Collins. First of all, you two are cousins, so great to have two family members with you. First, I'll start you with Talia there. What has it been like to be able to share this experience with your cousin?
Oh my gosh, it's been so fun. We actually went to high school together, and so we played at Mountain View. We got a couple years at Mountain View together, so it's been like 6 years since then. So it's fun to kind of bring it back, throw it back to the high school days.
For sure. It's been a lot of fun.
Talia, I love your ability to catch and shoot, your release. Talk to me a little bit about your role and how it may evolve this season.
Yeah, I think, this is like my 6th year in college basketball. So I think that just being able to be a vocal leader both on and off the court. Is that better? Okay. Sorry, I had to adjust my mic. And just playing with confidence, and that kind of eludes and brings everyone else up and gives them confidence too.
And Donja, you spent the last 4 years at Santa Clara. What was it that Talia said to you that made you transfer over to Utah Valley for another year?
You know, it's just such a special connection to have to play with a family member, and I think that we've had that bond for such a long time that it was a really easy switch for me. I've had a lot of fun getting to play in multiple programs, but this program by far I've felt the most connected to the girls, and on the floor I feel like our chemistry is really good. And so it's been super fun to get to play with T because, one, we know each other so well on and off the floor, but two, she's a really great player, and it's been really fun to get to play off of her. So.
Donja, we just saw some highlights of your cousin and her ability to shoot the ball, but what are the strengths that you bring to this team?
I think I bring another veteran status to the floor. I've also been in the game for 6 years. We're getting old here, but I think that's one thing that I've brought. And I've also feel like having my experience in the WCC, getting to win some big games against Gonzaga and a WBIT win, I feel like I know what it takes to win hard games, and I feel like I bring that grit and that hard work. And I think a lot of our team also brings that too, but it's been fun to get to add that to the existing talent that's already here.
Talia, Coach had talked a lot about your consistency and confidence and how that's grown over the course of your time. How have you noticed that personally evolve your game?
I think one of the biggest challenges is injuries, and a lot of players struggle with that. But with how off and on I've been in my college career due to injuries, that has been really difficult. And but coming back from my ACL, and then I had a little hiccup last season. I missed 7 games because I had to get a cleanup on my meniscus. But I think just learning to trust my body and trust that it's going to be healthy, and just as time goes on, that confidence grows a lot and is really helpful.
So as two veteran players who have spent many years at the NCAA Division I level, do you guys have contrasting leadership styles, or how do you guys approach leading this team with the newcomers and having to have a bounce back year this season?
I do think we complement each other well. I think that Donja is very empathetic and uplifting, and I'm a little bit more like hammer down, you know? So I think it's a good It's a good mix.
I think it's a good thing that Talia is a little more hammered down, because there are times where, we need that quick pick me up, or we need that quick, like, hey, let's get it back together. And I think that Talia brings that to the floor. And that's something that we really value on our team, because we really need those quick bounce backs, especially this year when we're going to have big games and tough games. She brings that leadership style, and it's a really, really fun thing to get to play with her. And we do balance each other very well. And I think we've been balancing each other since we were little, so it's been fun.
And Danya, you were also involved in a lot of committees and forums during your time through college basketball. Why has that been so impactful for you, and how have you taken some of the things that you've learned and incorporated them here at Utah Valley?
I think that one of the most important things that we can do as student athletes is be a part of the community and build up the people around us. We have a really big platform, and something that we can do as D1 athletes is be able to share the things that we believe in and share the values that we share as a program. And things like Team Impact or SAC and things like that have been a really important thing in my life, I've also found have blessed the programs that I've been a part of and the athletic departments that I've been a part of. And I think that that's one area that sometimes student athletes can miss out on. But the times that I've been injured and had the downtime to be able to kind of focus on things more than just basketball, I've found that those things have brought me a lot of joy, and I think have also blessed the programs that I've been a part of.
Love that answer. Thank you both so much, and best of luck this season.